is what I'm saying is that if I want to be self-reflective, I want to cogitate on something, I want to begin to be more introspective about my thoughts, is that different from what you're talking about meditating? Is that, do you see the distinction?
Yes. And I'm very, contemplative and all into self-reflection kind of a person. And then again, meditation kind of has given me the tools to do that. So, for example, there are two things I want to share with you. So, for example, let's say I get angry. So normally, when you're angry, the anger runs the entire show. I'll say bad things. I'll take bad decisions. Anger is just, affecting me physically, mentally, in all sorts of ways. With more awareness or practice of meditation, you come to a place where when you're angry, you're aware that you're angry. So then you just watch yourself. Like the more, you're aware that you're being angry right now or guilty or anything, it starts affecting you less. When you're angry and trying to tell yourself, don't get angry, it's so much harder. Instead, if you're just like, okay, I'm angry at this moment, the intensity of anger just keeps going lower and lower. And I'm not making this up. Like my fights with my husband in the last 11 years went from full on 10 on 10 over even small things to now me laughing at the same stupid things. And we're like, oh my God, over this 10 years ago, I would have ruined your life for a whole week. And now, because now it's not even making me angry anymore. So my response to same kind of situation changes just by knowing that, oh, this has triggered me. This is making me angry. So
I used to get angry a lot, and all of the advice I would get would be about what to do once you're angry, right? Like, oh, well, instead of yelling at people, go take a break. Like, well, I don't want to take a break because I'm mad at you right now. Right? We're yelling at each other. I'm not going to leave. And I was so unaware that even if you and I were in a shouting match, I wouldn't even know that I was angry. And even if you said, well, you're being really angry right now, I go, no, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to deny the feeling.
I'm not angry.
Why are you so pissed off? I'm not angry. I'm not. Well, you're acting. No, I'm not. And just deny the whole whole experience.
You can't stop those emotions. You can't stop sadness. You can't. Nobody ever says, how do you deal with sadness? Oh, well, just don't get sad.
And
what? That'd be crazy. Say it with anger.
My experience is that all these emotions, especially the harder to deal with ones, once you become aware, their intensity drops. So I will probably still get angry, but the frequency is much less. The intensity of a given incident is much less, and then also I'm able to let go much more easily. And all of that is because I've been able to practice awareness. That's why I keep saying awareness is my one-word solution to all problems. Now, the other aspect, and it may not make any sense at all, but when you're saying, the thing you mentioned in the beginning with your mind being empty and what does it get filled up with, I look at meditation to kind of simplify my, idea of it. I just like saying, let's go with science for a moment. So apparently there was nothing in the universe, and there was a big bang, and then this whole, cosmic dance of all the galaxies and stars and solar systems and us, therefore. So basically you're telling me there was nothing that became everything, right? And they're also studying how the universe is going to end someday. Will it keep on expanding and kind of lose gravity, whatever, right? Like, I'm not a scientist. So I just find it simple when I sit for meditation is like, okay, so that source before Big Bang that created everything, that has the power to go from nothing to everything. I just, when I sit and when I'm being empty, I'm like, I'm anchoring myself to that, because to me, it's like stem cell. Because to me, it's like that can become anything, right? So to me, I'll just recharge myself with that, space as my recharging for joy, for bliss, for being centered. And so I'm not worried about when my mind is empty, what goes inside of it. When my mind is empty, there's just so much lightness, happiness, You don't need a reason to be happy anymore. You don't need money or, I don't know, some material thing or a vacation to be happy. You just sit for maybe 10 minutes and I'm like recharged. I come out lighter and I have better perspective of things. So that's like having an empty mind doesn't have to be scary.
So if you're contemplating on this, on the emptiness and on the universe, as you said, is there a mantra or is there something that you're trying to begin with or trying to focus on? And you were sort of alluding to the fact that you're focusing on sort of these, universe issues and things like that. Is that what you're trying to focus on during that time?
Okay, so I learned this Buddhist meditation practice called Vipassana 20 years ago, and in the last 6 years I've been going to a Hindu Vedic school. Although, Hindu Buddhist might sound different, but there's no contradiction at all. It has been a seamless, smoothly sailing thing for me. But there's one textbook called, I think, Vigyan Vairav Tantra in Hindu, domain, where they've shared more than 100 ways of meditation. And all the other, cultures have their own different ways of, how you can meditate. So I think your question is, what do you do when you're sitting down to meditate, right? So there are so many different things. And
because I know nothing about it.
Yeah, to each their own. And I just tell people that whatever you can make time for, go for it. If it's an app, go for it. If you find a teacher, go for it. If you can sign up for a course, at a proper meditation school run by, people meditating or teaching meditation for, 20, 30 years, go for it. So just, you want to make sure it's a legit thing and you're not going to get don't be gullible about it. Make sure it's a legit thing. But all of these things work, and I've seen people switch from one to another because they think, something else worked better for them in that point of time in their life or whatever. So you will have to do some, I think, research, and I can help you with that. And interestingly, this is kind of shameless plug, but not really, because from the time pandemic started, I've also been doing this. I'm also a trainer, so I've been doing meditation sessions with friends, strangers. I don't do it for money; it's for free. And whoever is interested, I'm like, let's go. Let's give it 7 days, 30 minutes to 1 hour every day, and then they can decide what they want to do and whatever. So from CEOs to students to all of that. So that offer is open to you if you want to take it, or any of your listeners.
Up on that.
Any of your listeners, anybody. And the reason for this is I don't have any business plan for this. There's no money or any of those strings here. It's just that this practice has given me so much in my life. I really feel like I owe it to kind of give it back a little bit if I can.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm going to sign you up for that.
Apparently I need it. Well, you had you were doing that freeze game. We learned from Doug Lennox. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, it's not.
I know it's not the same.
Same as meditation.
I know it's not the same.
But I think it's important. Basically, what it is, you stop at random times throughout the day and ask yourself basically 4 questions. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I doing? And then what are my values? Right? So right now I'm thinking, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited, but I've also got a list of things that I need to do later today that I, keep just rattling around. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I'm feeling a little bit anxious, but mostly calm, right? And then I think, okay, well, my values are leadership, challenges, excitement, excellence. What am I doing right now? Is what I'm doing, thinking, and feeling, are they all aligned with those things? Well, that anxiety is not helpful, right? And I go, okay, well, me thinking about what I have to do later is not helpful because I'm not engaging in this conversation. That's just an example, right? Mm-hmm. So I find it helpful to go, okay, Because sometimes I am. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing exactly what I should be doing. Most of the time I'm not, because none of us are. Are you doing exactly what you should be doing all day, every day? Are you thinking what you should be thinking all day, every day? Are you feeling helpful emotions aligned with your values all day, every day? No. Even if you're highly successful, you might go, most of what I do is aligned to my values. But most people are not also thinking and feeling in alignment with their values. And almost no negative emotion can be aligned with your values, right? I'm angry. Well, how is that helpful? Oh, well, I guess it's not. Okay, well, I can throw that away, right? Or I can at least make sure that if I'm feeling something that's not aligned with my values, that what I'm doing still is. So I'm angry and I'm yelling at my husband. Well, that's probably not aligned with my values. I can't stop being angry, but I could stop yelling, right? I found that really helpful. I think that, I'm no meditation expert at all, but I'll try short periods, and it might be like after a prayer time as well. I think some prayers done in the right way can be like kind of a meditation too. Like the rosary, for example, is very meditative in how, and I don't know the name of the Buddhist prayer that's uses beads and is very similar, and you would probably know the name. But prayers like that can be very meditative to say, okay, well, I'm kind of getting in this like mantra that you alluded to earlier. The silent meditation, I don't do it every single day, but I find it helpful to just go, for 10 minutes I don't have to think about anything. Because most of the time we are thinking, especially in the modern world, we're thinking about 100 things at once. Right? I've got my phone and my laptop all binging and buzzing and pinging, and then I've got to go from this to that to this meeting to that meeting. Got to drive, and now I've got all sorts of external stimuli while I'm driving my car, and then I'm walking. I'm just going and going and moving and doing and thinking. Okay, can I for 10 minutes not do anything? Can I not think anything? Can I not feel anything? And then maybe when I come out of that, I'll be able to have a little bit more awareness and control for what I think and feel. Great.
Yeah, it's very liberating, and it recharges you. So there's nothing to be scared of. And in fact, the school I go to, Jivan Vigyan, one of the gurus, he runs a very big successful college, like offering MBA, MBA courses in Nepal. So I find it perfect because it's like, I am not planning to go live in a cave. I could be trained from somebody who has this big CEO kind of a life, and that's very helpful to me. So, I'm glad we're doing this conversation. Thank you for all that sharing.
Yeah. Well, we've gone from mountains to meditation, so that's been taking the whole journey.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for being here, Shailee. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat lunch.
That's very important,
right.
both for meditation and mountains.
So
I loved all this conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. How can people connect with you and learn more about what you do?
So my website is just my name, ShaileeBasnet.com, and I'm on most socials: Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. So feel free to drop in a message and say hi. I respond usually. I'm good about it.
We'll have all the details in the show notes, so it'll be perfect. So thanks again. So my takeaways from my discussion with Shailee, really I've got two. One is to put yourself in a position where you've planned ahead enough that you have fewer decisions that you want to make. So my decision-making takeaway from listening to her is don't make as many decisions. Have it already planned out, know what you're going to do. My second takeaway from her was that decisions affect the group. So know ahead of time that, hey, if we make this decision, here's what's happening to the group. If this person stays behind, this person has to turn around before reaching the summit. 3 people are going with this person. So those are my two takeaways, that try and make fewer decisions, and decisions affect the group.
My biggest takeaway is around awareness. She talked a lot about that.